Most common relationship patterns. When a happy, independent woman chooses a passive man in a relationship, it is very often rooted in a subconscious pattern shaped by the childhood dynamics and unprocessed emotions and unmet needs. Even if she appears strong and self sufficient, deep relationship imprints may be playing out. And here is the breakdown of the most common unhealed relationship patterns that create this dynamic. The first one is the over-functioner, under-functioner pattern. How does it look like? How does it play it out? The independent woman takes on the leadership role, handling finances, making decisions, and initiating emotional connection, while the passive man remains in the background, deferring to her. Why does it happen? She may have grown up in an environment where she had to be self-sufficient. In a childhood, emotionally, parents who were unavailable or parent, she learned that safety and love come from doing rather than receiving. So the passive man, on the other hand, may have had an overbearing or highly capable caregiver who made decisions for him, leading him to remain into the passive state. The core wound of this pattern is belief that I have to do it all to be loved versus I can't take up space because someone else will always lead. The second one is the rescuer, the avoidant pattern. How does it play out? Well, she feels a deep sense of purpose in helping or fixing her partner, believing she can bring out his potential out. He, in return, avoids stepping into responsibility, enjoying the comfort of being taken care of. Why does it happen? If she had emotionally unavailable or wounded parent, she may have learned to gain love by being needed. The passive man might struggle with internalized fears of failure, preferring to let someone else take a lead rather than risk making mistakes. The core wound and belief that love must be earned through effort versus a fear of a personal accountability. The third one is the hyper-independent woman with the non-committal pattern. How does it play out? She prides herself on not needing anyone, while he remains completely passive, never fully stepping into emotional or practical partnership. And over the time, she may feel exhausted, unsupported, or resentful. Why does it happen? Well, her independence may be a trauma response from having caretakers who were unreliable or controlling, teaching her that the dependence equals vulnerability. He, in return, may have learned that taking initiative leads to rejection or the conflict, so he avoids it altogether. And the core wound, a belief that relying on others is unsafe, versus a fear that taking responsibility will lead to a failure. The fourth one is the mothering and the childlike pattern. How does it play out? She becomes the mother figure in a relationship, managing responsibility, making sure everything runs smoothly, while he takes on more passive or even childlike role. Why does it happen? Well, she learned that in adults' responsibility so early that she had to do it all, and she creates this dynamic in relationship. So he may have been conditioned to rely on women for care and decision making. The core wound and the belief that love is earned through care and service versus a fear of stepping into fully masculine responsibility. And the fifth one is the subconscious power reversal pattern. How does it play out? While she consciously wants equal, deep down associating leadership with control or even harm, she may choose passive men to maintain a sense of a control, avoiding risk of being dominated or hurt. Why does it happen? If she experiences a dominant or controlling father figure, she may reject strong masculine energy, which equals to oppression, and the passive man in return may have had a strong maternal influence that made him associate leadership with rejection or disapproval. So the core wound in here is a belief that strong men are unsafe versus a fear of stepping into masculine power. What's the common thread here in this whole thing is at the core, these patterns stem from self-protection, unmet emotional needs, and inherited conditioning. They keep both partners locked in the cycle where they get their subconscious needs met, but at the cost of a deeper intimacy and fulfillment. Healing for those will look like for the independent woman releasing the need over functioning, allowing herself to receive and trusting into her partner's ability to lead in his own way. For the passive man, developing self-trust, stepping into the responsibility and healing any subconscious fears of failure or rejection. Would you say that any of these patterns may be resonating with you or your relationship or someone who you know? Did you observe this? Did you experience this at all? Let me know. And this is just a guidelines. When you're with me in a sessions, we tune into it to see it, what exactly that is the pattern playing out for you and how to actually change it within yourself to make it into the healthy relationship pattern and anchoring into what is your desires, your needs, and realizing some of the things which played in your childhood or maybe in a previous marriage or relationship that created a new wound, a new, possibly a belief